Hello everyone, welcome to GB Bricks. My name is Glenn. In today's video we're going to be having a look at my most anticipated releases for March of 2025. There are over 40 new sets releasing in that month as far as I can see, looking on the LEGO website, and I am going to run you through the 5 that I am most excited for. So which sets are my most anticipated? Well, let me tell you. So the first set then is set 31215, which is the Vincent van Gogh Sunflowers. I've been very impressed actually with this new line that LEGO have been trying over the last couple of years, this kind of art line where they've been taking famous paintings and recreating them in brick form. I do own the Starry Night, another Van Gogh painting of course, and I think that's a fantastic set. The one thing I didn't like so much about that, well, it's a bit of a double-edged sword actually. That one kind of protrudes the frame and is almost like a 3D representation with some of the foreground objects coming outside, as I said, of the frame. I don't think that makes it as practical to display as, you know, having it being brick built but obviously still a predominantly 2D take on the painting. But it still looks beautiful. It's a wonderful use of colour, really very clever build, using a lot of small pieces, a lot of plates, but it looks fantastic. I liked the Vincent van Gogh minifigure that they included, although again I think it's quite impractical in how you display it. It's almost got like a little stand that comes off the painting again, and if you're hanging it on a wall I don't think it works quite so well. This time it's gone for something a bit more standard, and I do think that's to the set's benefit. So this is based on the repetition of the 4th Sunflowers, with this particular painting being housed in Amsterdam, and it does say in the blurb on LEGO's website that they have collaborated with the museum in order to create this set. I'll be honest, when I first saw it I assumed it was going to be based on the painting that's housed in the National Gallery here in England, in London, but no, it is that repetition of that version. But yeah, no, I think they've done a cracking job, LEGO, of getting the essence of the famous painting, using the vibrant yellows and the different shades to get across what's so beautiful about that particular painting. It's one I definitely want to pick up. I won't be picking it up for the price, the base price of £169.99. That for me is just too expensive for what ultimately it will become, you know, something you hang on a wall. But if, and I'm hoping, someone like John Lewis gets this over here in the UK, they did get the Starry Night one, then I'm hoping at some point it will drop down by about 20%. And yeah, that's the time I will pick it up, which is exactly what I did with the Starry Night set. Next then we have 71837, which is Ninjago City Workshops. Now this is the 5th in the Ninjago City line. So basically Ninjago City as a LEGO theme, if you like, began just after or to partner with the Ninjago movie, which released back in 2017. So you had the original Ninjago City set, and Ninjago City Docks came out around about the same time as the movie, and then since then you've had Gardens and Markets, both lovely sets, and this now releasing is Workshops, as I said, the 5th set. Now this one goes for a very different angle. It's far more understated than some of the other ones, similar to Docks actually in some respects, and some people I've seen online don't like that and wish that it'd be just as large and bombastic with a lot of verticality and, you know, so much bustling and movement and everything kind of pushed in together, whereas this one has elements of that, but obviously the main idea of it is it's a part of the city where they build the mechs, something that Ninjago is well known for. I like that idea. I think it's a really clever idea to bring together two of the parts that Ninjago does so well, being obviously these city sets and obviously the mechs that they build, and bring them into one and kind of almost bring everything back in-house, bring everything back together. I don't like the mech that's included in this set. I think it's very basic. I do understand why, and I think it's probably the right call to keep, you know, give you something small that gets the point across, but put the majority of the money and the budget into the actual build, the build-ins. Having said that, I do appreciate what people are saying about it looking a bit understated or a bit smaller than the previous sets. My answer to that would be that, well, A, obviously it's a lot cheaper. It's still expensive, don't get me wrong, but it's certainly cheaper than the previous set. And B, I really like when in LEGO, whether it be an official set or a mock, I do this in my mocks, when you kind of show the more downtrodden part of town and not everything is bright and shiny and massive and impressive. And I think that can work very well when you couple it with the more impressive side of things. And if you are lucky enough to own any of the previous Ninjago City sets, I think this will complement them very well for that reason. I do agree that there are some parts that look a bit sparse, albeit I think there are like vignettes that you can pull out and move around. But I do think this is a very clever idea, where you have the docks and you have now this workshops area that are perhaps, you know, the poorer parts of town, you know, the parts where you have the working class people going about everyday life and providing the other part of town with what looks so impressive in the first place. And for that reason, I think this is a great idea, and one that I definitely want to pick up. The next one I'm looking forward to is 40819. This is the upscaled racing driver minifigure. Now, Lego did make one of these, was it last year? It might have been the year before that, which was a regular kind of town minifigure, upscaled of course. And I did really like that one, with the idea there being that you got a replica, normal scaled version of the minifigure as well in that set to go with the upscaled version, and you could actually take his hat up and place the minifigure in there, and they almost controlled the larger minifigure, which was quite a clever idea. They've scrapped all that this time. You just get the upscaled figure. I do think that's a shame. I would have loved to have got the small, you know, original version of this figure, if you like, although I don't think this exact upscaled figure was ever an actual Lego minifigure. There were some that were close, but they always had details that were slightly different. But to have got an exact replica of this upscaled version in smaller form in the set would have been nice. I'm not so fussed about the controlling part. You know, that was a clever little mechanic for that one set. I don't think they needed to carry that across. But I think this looks great, and I've always been a big fan of the racing driving kind of Octane theme that Lego had many years ago. I've mentioned it in a previous video. I think it was in reference to the new F1 sets coming out this year, or have come out this year, where I said that I used to love those older sets and it reminded me of those. I never owned any of those, but I do remember having or seeing these sort of figures, and my mates had them or whatever. And the other thing I like about this is the fact that, as far as I can see, unless I'm wrong, the parts that look like they could be stickered or printed, I believe are prints, and if they are, one of them that you get in there is an Octane logo, basically. It's on the driver's belt in this set, but it looks like it's I'm assuming like a 2x6, hopefully again printed piece. If that's the case, I sincerely hope that Lego put that on their Pick-a-Brick service on their website, because that would be a great piece to pick up. And if they do, I will pick a few up and I will create my own petrol station using the branding of Octane. I think that would be great. But yeah, no, I really like this. I know, again, other people I always find it strange. I've seen a lot of people say, who is this for? I never quite understand that question. I mean, it's going to be for someone. I mean, I like it. You know, I have nostalgia for that racing driving theme. I appreciate, you know, pirates, space, even more, you know, IPs, Star Wars and that. More people would want, perhaps. But that doesn't mean no one wants this. You know, who is this for, generally, as far as I'm concerned, means it's not for that person, which is fine. But they don't have to generalise, you know. I would love to, on that note though, I would love to see Lego bring across the pirate upscale minifigure that does exist, but is exclusive to Bill and Denmark, the Lego store there, the Lego house. That's a great looking model, and it's a shame that it's been kind of hidden away from most of the world, because it looks fantastic. And yeah, I'm interested to see where they take this new kind of theme, if you like, sub-theme, moving forward, whether they take it into IPs like they did with Harry Potter, or whether they do use it to promote some of their older themes, original themes such as space. Next then we have the Lego Speed Champions Formula 1 sets. There are a few I'm looking at, so there's no specific set number, but you have, there are 10 I believe in total, so you have each of the teams that participate in the Formula 1 shown in Lego form via the Speed Champions line. Now, Speed Champions, ever since its release, has been a theme that I've been interested in. I really liked the 6-stud wide cars that used to obviously be the mainstay of this theme. They moved to 8-stud. Now, that means that the models look so much more realistic, or there's so much more detail. I do think a bit of the charm's been lost, I must say, but I do like the 8-stud wide cars, and these F1 cars look fantastic. Now, I'm not a big F1 fan, but I will pick a few of these up. I do collect the Speed Champions. I don't know if you can see just about, I guess. I've got them kind of displayed here. There's some more down here as well. But I am running out of space, so I have to be quite selective in the ones that I pick up. Now, I don't have a team in Formula 1. I don't follow it that closely to have a team. But I have always liked Ferrari, but I do have a few Ferrari cars, so I will pick that one up, but it's not the top of my list of priorities. I already have the McLaren from last year's wave, so I don't think I'll get the McLaren. I think I'm going to get the Red Bull and the Williams, and I will get the Ferrari. So the three of those. The Speed Champions are just such an interesting build. The techniques that are used are second to none. It's probably, outside of Technic, the most advanced building techniques used by LEGO. The downside is the amount of stickers that you get in the sets in order to create that level of authenticity with the licensed cars, and I'm sure these ones will be very sticker heavy. So that always puts me off a little bit, but once they're built and they're on a shelf, they do look fantastic. And yeah, these F1 cars, they won't be for everyone, of course, and I'm sure some people will lament the fact it's almost as if a whole series of Speed Champions are going to pass them by because it's not for them. But I will be picking a few up for sure, and that's the three I'm going to get. And the final one I'm looking forward to is LEGO set 40803, which is the Optimus Prime Brickhead. You get two models within this set. You get the robot and the vehicle versions of Optimus Prime. I'm not a brickhead collector. I don't think I have any actually at all. My wife has a couple and my daughter likes them. She's got a few, but they're not really for me generally. But I am in my early 40s, and I was, very much the target audience for the Transformers when they first came out, and I do love these. I think they look great. I will pick up the Bumblebee as well. There is a Bumblebee one. I've named Optimus Prime as the one I'm looking forward to because he was my favourite character as a kid. But the Bumblebee one looks good too. I actually, saying that, I think the Bumblebee one perhaps looks better than the Optimus Prime one. There's something about the Optimus Prime face that I can't quite put my finger on. It doesn't quite look right. It's kind of his mouth. The grey piece they've used there doesn't quite look right. It almost looks like it's been put on upside down. Looks like it needs to be switched 180 degrees or have a different piece used to get it across, get the proper look across. But I'm hoping that's an easy fix and that can be modified and corrected. But I will pick the two of these up. The other thing, again, I'm hoping, judging on brickheads of the past, that these are all prints included in here. I've got nothing against stickers, but it's always nice to get prints, especially if it's things like the Autobots logo, things like that. That would be very handy. As I said, I do like the Bumblebee robot more than the Optimus Prime one, and I think both vehicles look okay. I do like the Bumblebee, the old Volkswagen Beetle there. I'm assuming these are based off Generation 1. They don't hold up under really close scrutiny, but then they're not really meant to, are they? They're kind of almost abstract interpretations of classic characters, and I think for what they're meant to be, they're done very well. And for £17.99 each, I think that's a decent price. And yeah, I'll be grabbing these and adding them to the collection. So there you have it. They are the 5 sets. Well, I suppose cheekily a few more than 5 in there, but you know what I mean. The 5 themes, if you like, that I'm looking forward to most in this March 2025 wave. There's one more that I, kind of an honourable mention. That's the another Ninjago one actually. It's the Thunderfan Dragon, which I really like the look of actually, and it's the cheaper of the 2 general Ninjago sets releasing, ignoring the big one that I mentioned already. I like the chains on the dragon. I think it's quite a good look, and that's one I'll keep my eye on and pick up when it's a bit cheaper. But do let me know which sets you're looking forward to and which ones you have your eye on. Which ones are you going to pick up on day one, or are you going to wait for sales? Stick it all in the comment section below. Please do consider subscribing if you've enjoyed this video, and please do feel free to watch some more of my content. I have playlists and all sorts of bits and bobs. There'll be some flashing up on your screen as I'm speaking now. Yeah, feel free to give that a watch. But until next time, happy building.